What's up, guys? So I'm getting ready to start installing the wiring harness on the engine and routing all my wires around there. I've already done the timing components inside the head, and I don't know what happened to the video. I went to upload it and it freaking deleted. That was going to be my next video in the series, was how to do that. So I may reapproach that topic again, see if I can recover the video somehow and do a different part to it. But I'm just going to carry on. So I'm to the point where I'm going to start putting the wiring harness onto the engine. I'm going to get it set on there. I'm going to set the, I still haven't set the timing belts. I've replaced the timing components, the chain links, or not the chain links, but the chain guides, the chains, and the electronic tensioner. I just inspected to make sure that they were still good. I did not replace the electronic tensioners. All I did was replace the guides and the chains and made sure the tensioners were still good. So all that's done. I'm going to put the wiring harness on, and then I'm going to start, I'm going to probably show you how to reset the clutch or the pressure plate, because this clutch was already used. So whenever you take the pressure plate off the flywheel, you have to reset a spring inside the pressure plate. So I'll probably try and include that in this video, as well as installing the flywheel, getting the engine off the engine stand, getting the flywheel put on it, getting the clutch pressure plate, and getting it mounted up to the transmission, and possibly even putting the exhaust on it, getting the downpipes and the transmission cross member, just test fitting it to make sure that it doesn't have anywhere where the exhaust is going to rattle against the cross member, because I'm not using the mounts that the C5 style or the B5 style. I'm using the original cross member for the B6. I've done it on every one of these that I've done. Sometimes you get a little exhaust interference. Sometimes you can manipulate it and you can get it to where it won't hit. Other times you can't. So that's why I like to test fit it before I get it into the car. Then when I get it into the car, I'll do a final fitment and make sure that it's not going to rattle against anything. It is a pretty tight fit, so there is a good chance that you're not going to get it to where it doesn't rattle without modifying something. So we'll see how it goes, but I just know that from previous builds that it will work. You just gotta manipulate it a little bit. So hope you enjoy what I'm getting ready to do. Okay guys, so I went to put my lower radiator hose on, and I forgot when I was pulling it apart, this O-ring in here is just completely wasted. So I'm going to pull the other heater hose, or the radiator hose, apart from the 3.0 out there and steal these pieces out of there if they're still good, because I don't want to spend a bunch of money on a replacement hose if I can fix it. So what I should be able to do, that O-ring looks like it's in pretty good shape. So I think I'm going to steal the O-ring out of here and put it back together on the other one, and it should be good. So I don't have my stand out here, so I'm going to try my best to hold this up, but if it sucks, it'll be all right. Whatever. All right, you might be able to see what I'm doing. So first things first, I got to pop the retainer off of here. Once that's off, I should be able pop the O-ring out, and then if I need the other piece, Now, I think that might have been actually broken on the other one. No, it does move. I thought so. So if you need this piece, you can pry it out of here. So I'm going to replace these two pieces out of that hose and put them into the old hose for the 2.7 since the gasket's no good. So now I'm just going to take these pieces that I see now you can't see it in there. That's these pieces right here. So now I'm going to take them and stick them in the other hose, and I've got a good hose. All right, guys, this is probably the most dangerous thing you're going to see me attempt to do, because I messed up this bolt a while back when I was doing a rear bearing on a different car, and I just traced the threads on here with a tap and die set, but it feels a little loose. So this may not end well, but what I've got is I've got a rear bearing press kit, has all these little adapters in it, and I've got an old brake rotor, and then I have the bolts for the pressure plate turned upside down and stuck in between the pressure plate and the brake disc. And I've got one pad on the bottom for this bolt, and then one pad on the top. And there, I'll let you see there. So I've got one pad here and one pad up here, and then you can see that the bolts are in between the pressure plate and the brake rotor. If you have a press, this is a whole lot easier, but when I was moving, I knew I didn't have a shop at this new house, so I sold a lot of my bigger tools. I had a manual mill and a 20-ton press, and I had all kinds of stuff, but I sold most of it for the down payment on my house and for the because I knew I didn't have a shop. So I'm trying to make do with what I got. So we'll just see how this turns out. It may not end well, but all I'm going to do is try and press down on the center of the pressure plate with this nut to release the pressure on the adjuster spring. So what I want to do is I want to get this down to where it's touching, and then I want to make sure I've got everything centered up. All right, so I've got it touching. Now I need to make sure that my bolt's pulling down in the dead center of it. Make sure I'm not going to catch on anything. It looks like I'm good. So now I'm probably going to bump the camera because I got to get into my toolbox. All right, what size is that nut? Not big enough. All right. I got a socket downstairs for it, but I'm not freaking waiting for that. So I'll just use these big ass pliers that I got. So then all I'm trying to do is just tighten it up and release the pressure on the clutch. And don't be an idiot like me and have your face over top of it, because if it doesn't end well, it's going to fly up, and I don't need it to hit me in the face or in the feet. I mean, I should really be doing this on a workbench with a press, but this is a little redneck engineering for y'all. Alright, let's see if we can slide those over yet.
might be able to. I think I gotta press it some more. Oh, God dang it. So this is going to require an assistant. So I'm going to see if I can get my tenant from downstairs come up here and help me out. I got to have the spring held while I release pressure off of it. So I'll be right back. So while I'm waiting for my tenant to come up here and help me, what I'm doing is I'm compressing the spring part of the pressure plate down away from the top plate. And what that does is that allows me to move this piece right here. So if you watch, you can see these tabs right here, that tab, and there's another tab over here. You can see that spring and that spring. As I move this, you'll notice that they collapse, and that's the self-adjusting part of the clutch. So what I'm trying to do is get this to spin around, and then what will happen is I'll release the pressure off of it while it's spun around, and that'll release the automatic tensioner on it. But I need someone else to hold it while I'm releasing pressure off of it. But that's all I'm doing is resetting the pressure plate. So that way you get a better understanding of what's actually happening here. Okay, so if you don't have anybody to help you, or if you're too impatient to wait, you can always run the risk of racking yourself while you do this. But you can hold the wrench with your legs. I need to get this spun around. Okay, so I should be able to do that. Nope, didn't work. Try it again. Really not a fan of standing over top of this thing while I'm doing it, but it does appear to be working. shit. This chunk right here was pissing me off on this side. What I need you to do is, if you can hold this when I get it set in place, I just need you to hold this while I tighten the bolt down. I gotta find a good place to hold it though. I had a good spot on it earlier, but that shit just don't want to cooperate now. Alright, that's about as good as it's gonna get. So if you can just hold that, this right here. And I gotta loosen that nut that your hand's on. But don't let that move, because that's the self adjuster or the automatic adjuster for the clutch. There we go. So now it's reset. Told you that nut would probably pop loose, and it did. But luckily I already had the clutch adjusted. So, like I say, don't recommend doing that shit at home, but it worked for what I was trying to do. Now my clutch is reset. As you can see by the springs completely collapsed right here and right here. And that shows how I've got the nuts or the bolts upside down to support just this part of the plate versus letting this part touch. You don't want this part to touch anywhere that you're pressing against. That defeats the purpose. You'll be pressing like you're actually trying to press the clutch, and it won't work. You won't be able to reset the self-adjuster. So, other than that, pretty straightforward. I'd find a little bit better bolt to use, but as long as you're not doing some sketchy crap like I am, you'll be fine. Okay guys, so I know I said that I was gonna change the oil pan out before I pressure wash the engine. I didn't. All I did was covered up the crack in the oil pan, and you can see the crack in the oil pan right there at the edge of this fin. So that's where the crack is. It goes all the way around that fin, and that's, somebody had tried to put JB Weld on it, which was, I don't know who would be stupid enough to try that, but that's not going to work. So I wanted to try and switch the two oil pans, or lower oil pans, and they are not the same. I thought that maybe just the baffling was different, because 90% of the bolt holes line up, but there are a couple small differences that will make a huge difference. One of them being that this one has an extra hole and alignment pin that this one does not have. All right, and then this one has the alignment pin here instead of over there. So that's the big difference in it, is that the alignment pin's in a different spot and it's missing one of the bolt holes. So it will not work. And the baffling's different. So I am gonna have to order another oil pan for this thing. I'm gonna go ahead and continue building the engine, because I believe I can replace the lower oil pan with the engine in the car. So I should be able to do that with, like I say, with the engine in the car, and I'll do a video showing how I do that later. But I was trying to get this thing ready to get it bolted up to the transmission and get it set into the vehicle. So I wanted to change the oil pan, but there is a significant difference as far as being able to function. They look very similar, but with those differences, it's going to cause leaks and it may not function properly. Plus, the oil may not drain back in correctly because of the way that the baffles are set up. These are turned this way and these are facing this way. And if you look at the bottom of the engine, there's where the oil comes out on this one, and the oil on the 2.7 comes out different. You've also got return lines for the turbos that come in right here on each side, and they have baffles, and that oil comes in through these baffles here. So I'd be very hesitant about even trying to make this fit, because I don't know that the oil would flow correctly inside the pan. It may cause foaming issues and all kinds of stuff like that. The oil pressure may not be correct. It could cause undue agitation. There's all kinds of things that it could affect. So I'm going to go ahead and put this oil pan back on so that my engine doesn't drip while I'm waiting for the new one to get here. and I'm going to go ahead and get the engine set into the car, or get it bolted up to the transmission and get it set into the car. But just wanted to show you these few differences between these two oil pans. They are not compatible. From my understanding, the 2.8 and the 2.7 are compatible, but the 3.0 and the 2.7 are not compatible. So for anybody that's wondering what I do for a living, that doesn't allow me to work at the house all the time because I got to pay bills, I service CNC machinery. I'm currently inside of a machine right now replacing linear rails, but just wanted to show you guys what I actually do for a living, so maybe you can see why I'm so busy with other tasks. So right now what I'm doing is I'm replacing these linear rails, that rail over there, this rail over here. A technician for another company came in here and completely hosed this machine up. Didn't know what the hell they were doing. Broke $6,000 worth of parts. So I'm in here doing damage control, trying to fix this thing. Just wanted to kind of explain what I do for a living so that maybe y'all could have a better understanding of why I'm so busy all the time. What's up, guys? So I'm going to go ahead and split the video into two parts because I have a feeling that the video is going to be too long for my liking. So I'm going to break the video right here. I'll pick back up as soon as I can, but I don't want to make this video too long. I don't want to ramble on and things of that nature. So when I pick back up, I'll be mounting the flywheel and the clutch and everything onto the engine and bolting it up to the transmission. I've already done it. I just don't want to make the video super long. So still editing that one out. Once I get it edited out, I'll get it posted. But like I say, I don't want to make the video too long. So I hope you enjoyed what you watched in this video. If you did, please give it a like and a subscribe if you would. It would help more people see my videos. Maybe I can build up a little bit bigger viewing audience, and it would afford me opportunities to do more projects that you guys would find interesting. So I appreciate everybody watching the video, and hope to see you around for the next one. Thanks.